Welcome to the world-famous News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss, and I'll be your skipper. Here now the news for August 22nd, 2020. With park calendars previously only populated through October 31st, now they have been filled in through November 7th. These park hours are the same reduced hours we'll see go into effect starting next month, with the Magic Kingdom from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Epcot from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Hollywood Studios 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Animal Kingdom from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Hours from November 8th onward have yet to be added to the calendar. Back in June, Disney Parks made the following announcement regarding the fate of the popular holiday events that would typically begin on November 8th and beyond, including Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and the Epcot International Festival of the Holidays. Quote, "We are monitoring our new environment closely. We'll make a decision on these events as we continue to learn more from government and health officials. As always, our goal is to explore every option and look for ways in which we can still host events and festivals full of magic while still operating responsibly with the health and safety of our guests and cast members in mind." If Disney follows a similar pattern as what they did with the reopening events, they may decide to cancel Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party while keeping the Festival of the Holidays in some way. We expect an announcement regarding these events very soon, considering that park hours only go up to the day before many of those events would have started. According to StreetInsider.com, Deutsche Bank reported that worldwide Disney park attendance remains down 80% year over year from 2019 per their proprietary geolocation data. For months, parks around the world remained closed due to the pandemic. Park reopenings began in May, with Shanghai Disneyland and Hong Kong Disneyland in June, although that has since again closed, while the parks of Tokyo Disney Resort, Disneyland Paris, and Walt Disney World followed suit in July, all with reduced capacity. The Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California remains closed. Deutsche Bank analyst Brian Kraft explained that Walt Disney World attendance may soon rise as Florida's COVID-19 numbers continue to trend down, saying, quote, "While Walt Disney World appears to be lagging the COVID case reduction, we would expect the data to relieve some of the admission pressure in the near future." Kraft also discussed Walt Disney World's chief competition in Universal Orlando Resort, who he claimed was having an increase in admissions since they reopened in June, stating Universal Orlando's parks continue to see an uplift in admissions, with Saturday having the best year-over-year change since reopening at 64% lower than it was before. Given this ongoing improvement in Universal's attendance and declining new daily COVID cases in Florida, we believe that Walt Disney World will soon see some benefit. Earlier this month, Disney said on their Q3 earnings call that attendance at Walt Disney World was lower than expected, though revenue still exceeded variable costs. During the COVID-19 theme park shutdown, Disney announced that senior executives for the Walt Disney Company would be taking salary cuts to help in the midst of the unprecedented effects of the pandemic on the company. But now their paychecks are being restored while thousands of cast members remain on furlough. Back in March, Bob Chapek sent out an email stating all senior executives would have their pay reduced throughout the closure period. Chapek had his salary reduced by 50%, while Bob Iger agreed to forego 100% of his salary. Various decreases in pay for SVPs, EVPs, and VPs were also enacted, with VPs by 20%, SVPs by 25%, and EVPs by 30%. Salary cuts went into effect on April 5th. According to an exclusive from Deadline, salary reductions will be lifted starting August 23rd. Walt Disney Company employees were informed that pay reduction period would be ending this Sunday. Changes will be reflected in the executives' next paychecks. It's unclear whether the pay restoration would impact Iger and Chapek, but the salary cuts were meant to be temporary and were to remain in effect until the company saw a substantive recovery in business. As expected, due to the theme park shutdown, results of the company's recent Q3 earnings call were bleak, with a historic $2 billion reported in revenue loss from the company's Parks, Experiences, and Products division. However, Walt Disney World is operating at a meager profit, or at least exceeding variable costs, as we just said, according to CEO Bob Chapek. Still, thousands of cast members, including performers, event staff, and more, are still furloughed at this time due to limited park hours and operations. Much like the running Carnotaur and Dinosaur, or to a greater extent the Yeti on Expedition Everest, the jumping Brer Rabbit in Splash Mountain is notorious for being broken on and off throughout the 28 years of the ride's existence. A small victory for Splash Mountain fans at this time is that the animatronic has been fixed. You can view the animatronic of Brer Rabbit, known as the attraction's $1 million rabbit to some, actually working for once in our video right here on our channel. You're seeing it now. You can see him bouncing along the hills. Brer Rabbit invites Brer Bear to his laughing place, complete with his bindle. The effect has been off since the reopening of the attraction in July, and despite maintenance issues for other hugely popular attractions, it's nice to see this one getting a much-needed tune-up. It is worth noting, though, that most of the rest of the ride is still pretty bad. A lot of animatronics around him do not work. And, of course, this follows the Jose Carioca situation where, of course, he fell over at Grand Fiesta Tour and was fixed, but not completely fixed. He's kind of weird, his movements. The Brer Rabbit looks a little weird, too. So hopefully the people who regularly fix these will be off furlough soon and they can actually be restored to the way they're supposed to look. But it's nice that someone tried. We appreciate that someone put an effort in. Just a day after the first sign disappeared, a new version of the Ratatouille sign has been installed in the France Pavilion at Epcot. This sign greets guests over the construction wall, hiding the future expansion of the France Pavilion. At first glance, the sign appears to be the same as the original. However, there is a slight difference. While the lettering and coloring are the same, the old sign had shadowed edges. It's possible they decided the shadowed edges didn't make the sign stand out enough, so they changed it. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will be opening in the France Pavilion sometime soon, despite delays from the theme park shutdown. When? We still don't know. The interactive talk show type attraction Turtle Talk with Crush has been closed at Epcot since the parks reopened, but it is expected to reopen in the next week or two, according to cast members. Since the Actors Equity Association has reached a memorandum of understanding with Disney, performers are allowed to start returning to their jobs in the parks. This includes Turtle Talk with Crush performers. Turtle Talk, House in the Seas with Nemo and Friends, is similar to the Laugh Floor at the Magic Kingdom, though it is more aimed exclusively at younger children. Animated characters appear on a screen while voice actors perform live and from a separate location. This means each performance is different and more personalized to the audience. It also means the performers are not in the same room as guests, so there's a slightly lessened risk of contact or transmission. The marine exhibit area of Turtle Talk, typically used as the holding and waiting area for the attraction, has been open occasionally depending on staffing. For the past month, there are social distancing markers leading into the exhibit and markers for each party to stand on while waiting. We're sure the small theater will also have its share of social distancing measures implemented inside, but nonetheless, it'll be nice to see Turtle Talk with Crush back at Epcot. New signs have come to the entrance area of Epcot for its reimagining, as the Camera Center and Pin Traders have been outfitted with redesigned signage as the final touch of their new look. The store underwent a refurbishment in December 2019, debuting new pin trading headquarters window decals for the park's reopening back in July. Now, two new signs bookend the store. Pin Traders on the left features the new Epcot font and blue accents on the top and bottom of the gray sign. A small, modernized version of the Disney pin trading logo appears at the end, with lines beaming out and around the side of the wall. Over by the right side of the store, the new Camera Center sign follows a similar design scheme with a small Nikon logo. Permits were recently filed for graphics in the area. Many Epcot purists were in fear of losing the beloved Gateway Gift sign, which is the original from 1982 at the park. We're happy to report that's still there, at least for now. The new Camera Center Pin Trader signs do mirror the original signage for these stores, and they look a little bit like the Gateway Gift ones, at least in shape, if not in color. Mulan has taken over the Walt Disney Presents at Disney's Hollywood Studios with a limited-time sneak peek of the film. Even from the moment you enter the park, a Mulan poster greets you at Crossroads of the World, advertising the sneak peek. The marquee at Walt Disney Presents advertises Mulan and its September 4th release date on Disney+. Mulan posters are also hanging on the lampposts and the doors to the Walt Disney Theater. Inside have been further decorated with Mulan holding her sword. Two costumes by designer Bina Dageler are on display in the exhibit area. And the costume on the left is worn by Li Gong as, I have no idea, Zheneng, a witch who helps the invaders. The other costume is the one worn by Yifei Lu as Mulan in the posters at the exhibit. In the Walt Disney Theater, you can see a sneak peek of a scene and trailer for the film. For now, this is the closest you'll get to seeing the movie in an actual movie theater. Drawn to life, the new Cirque du Soleil show at Disney Springs was approaching opening day when the Walt Disney World Resort closed. After layoffs and hitting bankruptcy, the company announced Drawn to Life will debut on November 5th this year, with tickets going on sale. But unfortunately, the show's debut has been delayed once again. According to the company's ticketing website, performances have been suspended through February 10th, 2021. The show will perform nightly at 5:30 p.m. Tuesdays through Saturdays, and tickets start at $95. The show is currently scheduled through March 31st, 2021, with tickets on sale. Drawn to Life was originally meant to open again on April 17th officially, but in March they were supposed to start having those soft opening performances. It seems there's trouble in paradise as Sebastian's Bistro restaurant at Caribbean Beach Resort remains shuttered long after the resort's reopening, and sources indicate that there are no current plans to reopen the table service restaurant, which specializes in Caribbean fare. The restaurant's status remains labeled temporarily unavailable on the Walt Disney World website, with no calendar to check for hours or future availability. They did tell us it's likely some of the more popular menu items from Sebastian's will move to Banana Cabana, the adjacent bar location, as the reopening progresses and the resort begins to see more guest traffic. The restaurant had been underperforming since long before the shutdown. Just last year, it ended their lunch service at the end of January, with the location only open for dinner in the evening hours. Ads for the restaurant were even placed in the lobby to encourage guests to visit the location. I will tell you, Sebastian's Bistro, we had just really caught on to how good their menu changes were, and that this was absolutely one of the. Our first review wasn't great. We went back and loved it. We went 2 or 3 times in the last couple weeks before the parks closed and fell in love with it. So it's heartbreaking that they won't be coming back ever, possibly. It sounds like they're in no rush to bring that back. And even when crowd levels were at full, last year, the restaurant still got rid of their lunch service. So it doesn't look good, but I'm hopeful at least that the menu items will maybe make their way outside, or they'll use Sebastian's for seating at some point. Hopefully something will happen. It's time for paella and croquetas once again, as Jaleo by Jose Andres at Disney Springs is once again available to guests starting August 20th. It appears the restaurant will be open from Thursday through Sunday each week from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., closing at 9 on Sundays. Reservations are currently not available on My Disney Experience, but they are on Open Table. In fact, we got one for tonight. Very excited. One of my favorite restaurants, thankfully, that has reopened. I hope they do well. Jaleo is by far, again, one of our favorite restaurants, my personal favorite in all of Disney Springs. And you can, of course, check out our review to see why we love it so much on our website. But, I love it. Love it so much. My parents are super picky. I brought them to Jaleo, made them try stuff, and they fell in love with it. It is a very special restaurant. After months of unprecedented closures, guests can once again head on over to the AMC Theaters, grab some popcorn, and settle in for a viewing of Ghostbusters on the big screen. Who are you going to call? Is it 1984 again? No, but it felt like decades since we last set foot inside a movie theater, which is why we're excited to cover the grand reopening of the AMC Dine-In 24 at Disney Springs. On August 20th only, the theater offered special 15-cent tickets to various reruns of popular recent films, as well as some throwbacks like Ghostbusters, my personal favorite. You can read about our full experience and see just how all the social distancing measures work at the movie theater on our website. It's time to get #basic and stock up on some leggings this weekend, because the all-new Lululemon location at Disney Springs is now open. There's nothing more comfortable to wear to the parks than athleisure-style clothes that'll stand up to the elements and keep you properly outfitted for the 15,000 or so steps you'll be taking on an average park day. Thankfully, one of the premier athleisure brands in the market, Lululemon, is now open. You can buy some cute quality leggings to pair with your park tees. To read our full coverage of the grand opening and see how the store looks, you can visit our website. While Walt Disney World's phase reopening is well underway, the Disneyland Resort reopening remains stalled, with hotel cancellations now extended through September 12th. Guests with existing reservations have begun to receive emails notifying them of the cancellation. Chairman of Disney Parks, Josh D'Amaro, has just released some incredible up-close photos of the Quinjet, now in place at the upcoming Avengers campus at Disney California Adventure. D'Amaro was on a tour of Avengers campus with President of Disneyland Resort Ken Patrick, plus Kevin Feige and other members of Walt Disney Imagineering. Kevin Feige's from Marvel, by the way. As he describes it, quote, "The Quinjet landed right in front of us." It's cute. On it, you can see the flashy red paneling that distinguishes it as the Avengers Quinjet. It's our first up-close look at the impressive piece of SHIELD technology. In concept art, we see the Quinjet stationed atop the Avengers headquarters. In construction photos, we see that the building is still coming together with exposed walls requiring siding and theming elements. Avengers Campus was originally set to open on July 18th and is now delayed due to the theme park shutdown, but appears to be making speedy progress. Of course, this building is eventually supposed to be the facade for an e-ticket Avengers attraction that was supposed to be part of Phase 2, but given the pandemic, who knows if and when that will ever happen. But nonetheless, the Quinjet made it. The fan-favorite musical show, The Jungle Book Jive, was scheduled to return on August 22nd at Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris. Now reports are circulating the show is canceled and no performances will be held for the near future. According to fan site Loopings, 2 cast members have tested positive for COVID-19, as was confirmed by a Disney spokesperson. The cast members are now home, but as a precaution, all other affected casts, including the entire performing team, were also sent home to quarantine for 14 days. With this, the show had to be canceled abruptly and may not debut for another few weeks. The show was announced for a limited-time summer run in an effort to draw guests to the Studios Park, which has suffered from low attendance throughout the reopening. A modified stage was set up inside the the Lights Motors Action Extreme Stunt Show in preparation for the show's new location debut. The park is rumored to close temporarily. However, Disneyland Paris has denied these statements. There's no end to the sparkly, shimmering colors of mini ears to adorn your head. And at the Tokyo Disney Resort, they have a new interesting color trend, a sparkly yellow-green sequined mini ear headband. It's now available at Disneyland and Disney Sea. Just like every other color of sequined mini ears, the pair is covered top to bottom in yellow-green sequins, even on the bow. And they retail for 1,700 yen. The wonder and adventure of the majestic Tokyo Disney Sea are about to turn 19 years old, and naturally, there'll be special merchandise to celebrate the occasion. For the 19th anniversary, plush badges, a gold thimble, and more featuring Mickey, Minnie, and Donald Duck in their outfits from the Mickey and Friends greeting trails inside the Lost River Delta Port will be available beginning September 3rd, a day before the actual anniversary. Merchandise will be available both in-park, at the shops, as well as on the Tokyo Disney Resort app. To view the entire collection, head on over to WDWNT.com. We really love our spooky time at the Tokyo Disney Resort. Guests go all out with costumes, special pop-up shows at the parks, and there's always cute food and merchandise to match. And even though Halloween is canceled this year, it seems the resort is still commemorating the season with a few adorable merchandise items. Some of these are new, while few are returning favorites from previous years. To see the full collection of those, you can also go to WDWNT.com. Since we're getting pretty close to Halloween at the Tokyo Disney Resort, the Disney hotels around the resort are preparing to celebrate with some delicious Halloween meals and treats. All these defrightful delicacies will materialize across the resort beginning September 3rd, so you better decide what you want to try now so you can make a reservation. You can check out the Halloween offering details on our website. When the crypt doors creak and the tombstones quake, it's time for dinner. Disney has introduced these new salt and pepper shakers that look like tombstones from the Haunted Mansion, so you can make your meal seasoned and spooky. You might recognize the tombstones from the graveyard of the attraction. One is for good old Fred, the other for Brother Dave, who chased a bear into a cave. Wonder how that turned out. These shakers were $19.99 at World of Disney and Disney Springs. We also saw them at Memento Mori. But there's even more new Haunted Mansion goodies. We found a new ornament featuring Madame Leota, and as well a new decorative tombstone with the eerie epitaph, Master Gracie laid to rest, no mourning please, at his request, farewell. The ornament is $24.99, and the foam tombstone is $29.99, and it goes nicely with the Madame Leota released last year. You can count down to the scariest holiday of the year with a new figurine, plus get your candy ready with the Jack-o'-lantern Candy Bowl. Trying to keep track of how many days are left until the spooky holiday. This countdown calendar figurine is a perfect addition to your home. It features Mickey and Minnie in front of a candy corn castle. There's a grinning cauldron of candy between them, and you can move around the two blocks in the middle to count down to Halloween. This retails for $49.99. The Jack-o'-lantern Candy Bowl is back from last year, which sold out pretty early last year. That's why it's back. The most noticeable feature, of course, is that gaping bat-shaped mouth. The mouth is where you can store candy for the day of Halloween or for the weeks leading up to it if you just want candy for yourself. The bowl retails for $29.99. We found both of these at various locations around Walt Disney World. All right, remain seated and watch out for piranhas because a brand new hat has arrived at Walt Disney World themed to the world-famous Jungle Cruise. This tan safari hat can keep you covered, at least your head, as you explore the wilds of Adventureland and beyond. The front features the Jungle Cruise logo as it appears on the entrance to the Disneyland version of the attraction. The underside of the brim features a map of some of the places you might see on your tour, paired with classic quips from skippers. There's even references to other Adventureland locales, including Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room and the Indiana Jones Adventure. That retails for $39.99. We found it at the Plaza del Sol Caribe Bazaar. That's the exit of Pirates of the Caribbean at the Magic Kingdom, because the Jungle Cruise doesn't have a gift shop. My personal favorite thing is the hippo on the back that kind of looks like a brand logo, and it's the hippo coming out. It's pretty great. I had to have it. I had to buy it. I think it's the item of the year. Best thing I've seen so far this year. It's been a while since we've seen new Park Life merchandise. This cartoonish collection started hitting shelves late last year. A new limited release Epcot Magic Band has now been added to the lineup. Mickey's smiling at one end with Spaceship Earth behind him. The other end of the band has a collection of Epcot icons such as Soarin', Journey to Imagination, Mission Space, Test Track, and The Seas with Nemo and Friends. We found this limited release Magic Band for $29.99 at Mouse Gear. Two new Baby Yoda, a.k.a. the Child Magic Bands, have floated into Disney World. We discovered both a limited release and limited edition Magic Band at Epcot. The first limited release band has a red base with a mountain ranges and orange clouds in the background. Baby Yoda floats in his crib on one end of the band. On the other end of the band are the words, "The Child." This retails for $29.99. The limited edition Magic Band was behind the counter in a purple box, and it's a limited edition of 4,000. The band itself is purple and yellow with yellow stars and the Star Wars logo. The child himself looks curiously up from one side of the Magic Band. This one is $34.99. A limited release Halloween Magic Band has arrived at Walt Disney World just a few days after it showed up on Shop Disney. The Magic Band features Mickey Mouse dressed up in a costume. Mickey's in a Halloweenified version of his magician's outfit. His bow tie is candy corn, and his hat has a jack-o'-lantern. We found this limited release Magic Band at Mouse Gear as well for $29.99. So new Rock and Roller Coaster merchandise has arrived at the studios. New leggings, sweatshirts, tees, and an amazing water bottle can all be found in this collection. You can view them all on our website. We found them all at Rock Around the Shop. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to WDWNT.com. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content. Click the bell for notifications, and make sure you hit select all notifications so you never miss an episode of the show. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Now get out. Oh, where are my manners? Get out, please.
Pressing Issues is the spin-off of the WDW News Today podcast segment as a long-form panel discussion in which some of the brightest minds of WDWNT analyze the biggest stories of the week and their impact on the Walt Disney Company, its parks, guests, and cast members. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, or afterward on the WDW News Today podcast feed.